Hey there. Welcome to the Pelvis Project podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Roxy. We're two pelvic health experts brought together by passion for our careers, entrepreneurship, motherhood, and the desire for intentional relationships.
Join us in our mission to spread pelvic floor awareness and start conversations surrounding the truth behind genuine health, imperfect wellness, and joyfully navigating life. We are so glad you are here with us.
Let's start the conversation.
Good evening, Roxy.
How's it going, Megan?
Pretty good. We are prepping for the holidays, rolling right in.
Here they come.
Here they come, which is why we are doing kind of a similar episode, but different. Our last episode was on gratitude and the benefits of practicing gratitudes and that connection with our body. And we're going to tonight talk about mindfulness, because that gets thrown around quite a bit of like practicing mindfulness, but like, really, what does that look like in practical terms?
What is that?
Oh, what is that? And so this has kind of come from myself personally working on this and trying to figure out a way that I could connect in my brain how to practice this. Because it seems like, I'm like, yes, I'm being mindful, and then I'm like, am I? So we have a little bit of an outline and kind of like practical tips and tools that you can think about doing through the holidays. And the reason why we're doing this is the holidays just bring up a lot. And it's a lot of overstimulation. Those with people with chronic illness, it's often a time of flares because of the stress and the hustle and the go, go, go. And so we thought that this would be a good sister episode to our gratitudes, and hopefully it'll be helpful to get us through. So before we start, Roxy, what's your tell me something good?
Oh boy, I forgot about this part for a second. You go first. Let me think. Sorry.
My tell me something good is my kids are off school this whole week, and it is a tell me something good for me because I love it when they're off of school because I don't have to keep up with what homework is due and what we're supposed to be studying for. And I don't have to do that with my daughter. She's a freshman in high school, but my son being in 5th grade, and that's considered middle school where he's at, it is just like sometimes, it is like a part-time job keeping up. So I'm just so grateful that we have a break. And so is he.
Yeah, sounds like it. I think over the weekend, Saturday was just a really beautiful day. And I think I just really look back at the last handful of days of like, when did I feel really full and rich?
Yeah.
And it was just playing, and we were jumping on the trampoline and just went for a long walk and just spent outside. And that was
it was
lovely.
So nice.
Yeah.
So nice.
So
Absolutely.
it's kind of a cop out, but it also really thinking back over the last few days of like, what was really good?
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's what was good in my world. I'm grateful for it. Yep.
Okay, so let's kind of start in here. So this is kind of, hopefully this is a clear, grounded way to understand how to truly practice mindfulness, and not like a fluffy version, but a real kind of nervous system regulating, hopefully kind of life shifting skill. And we'll get to it in this talk, but this is going to be beneficial for just the layperson. And then also if you are a provider, another therapist, we are with people for hours on end, and the importance of being able to have a reset ritual. Both Roxy and I, one of our mentors, is really big on this. And really, when you go through it, the power of that is pretty important. So I'll start with this clearing of your mind. So mindfulness is actually not a clearing of your mind. So the brain is designed to think. So the goal is not to stop your thoughts. The goal is to notice what's happening without immediate reaction. Think of it as training the observer part of your brain, which is definitely difficult to do because a lot of us, when we feel something, we want to fix it, or we are trying to react to it and figure out how to make ourselves feel better. So when you can kind of step back and make yourself an observer is actually pretty interesting, and it is challenging.
All right. Very good. Moving on. Number 2, start with the body, not the mind. And so thinking about how many times have we told ourselves, like, just calm down or chill out, or, we tell ourselves stuff to do. We know what we're trying to do, but it doesn't actually work. So think about the body as an anchor. That body anchors you faster and more reliable. There's more rapport there than just your thoughts by themselves. And so here's just a couple ideas to try, and you'll see that it actually is effective. But think about like feeling your feet on the floor, or notice your breath move low into your body, down into your ribs and into your belly, relaxing your jaw and then softening your shoulders. And so when we have just those mental instructions that we're trying to tell our body to do and trying to be mindful just in our mind, and that doesn't work, then try settling your body, and then the mind is naturally going to follow that once the body's proved to it that what we're telling it to do is actually accurate and safe to do.
Yeah, and we all know how powerful our thoughts can be. So that's why when you try to use your body to anchor, it's more reliable, and like if there's faster, because our thoughts, oh man, our thoughts can like take us away on a runaway train real quick. So those are all really good examples of ways you can practice anchoring your body. So the third one is use micro moments instead of long sessions. So true mindfulness is built in tiny doses, especially during everyday life. So I think that's one thing that keeps people away from this is they think like, I don't have 20 minutes to sit down and practice this. And that actually is not. Like, you will get quite a bit of benefit from these short little like micro moments. So here's some examples of some things you can do. So one intentional breath before responding to a text. How many times have we just
That'd
like
be good.
fired it back? Yeah. But like, if you practice that, regardless of what the text says, it could be good text, bad text, whatever, but you practice that one intentional breath before responding, that's going to be very soothing to the body. So noticing tension in your glutes or your pelvic floor before you stand. So obviously these are kind of tied into like what we do, but you can pay attention to that. Check in with your ribs and your breath before entering a room. It's just like you could just check in with your body and be like, let's just see. Feeling the steering wheel while you're driving, think about, what does this feel like? Noticing your heart rate rise and choosing to do a slower inhale. And this is something, that a lot of individuals deal with. And so I think that it's so easy for us. It's something that I'm here recently kind of going through, but with some heart rate stuff, but it is so easy when you notice those things to go, like your thoughts take over, you start to ruminate, you just start to go down this like downward spiral. So noticing that, but choosing to do that slower inhale is really helpful. So these are 5-second check-ins that create more change than a 20-minute meditation you can't stay consistent with. So a lot of people just cannot put 20 minutes into their day, but these are 5 seconds. And I would say so great to, do this like something when you're driving the car. We give a lot of instruction when we're working with a patient, if we're working on certain breath techniques or everything, where we say, do it at every red stoplight, those sorts of things. That's kind of that same thing. You're checking in with your body, or I'll say at every red stoplight, check in with your body and release your pelvic floor. And that's a mindfulness way.
Yeah, this is so good. I just think about how often I've even just wanted to do a minute or two of just kind of quiet, and I'm like, squirrel over here. It's like takes 10 seconds and then I'm distracted and I'm restless and I don't know what I'm doing, right?
Right.
So this just feels more doable. I like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, next one. Label what you notice without judgment. And so that second part is the secret sauce. So just thinking about labeling what you notice, but using like a simple and neutral word. It doesn't have to be fluffy and fake, but it doesn't need to be negative and like opinionated.
Yeah, like an adding like, what's wrong with me, or get it together, or like, no, don't put the judgment on there.
Yeah. So just like words, some ideas of these are thinking, worrying, planning, frustration, tension in the chest, heart beating fast, pelvic floor gripping. Like those aren't necessarily good or bad. They just are factual. And so I think just using those simple neutral words, the label creates the anchor. We talked about that anchor earlier with our body. And that's what you're doing right now is after you've done what Megan said of those kind of even micro moments and checking in, then you give your body that label that's free of opinion so that it's factual, that creates that anchor. And then the body can respond softly and relaxed. And it eases everything, especially that tension that we're usually using mindfulness to try to break free from.
Okay, so number 5, let go of fixing, focus on witnessing. So that being that observer. So mindfulness is not solving or fixing or forcing yourself to calm down or pushing away emotion, which, hello, that is like, I struggle with that. I just want to solve something and fix it. And it's the nature of, I think, just our profession. And so that is very hard for me because I want to like overanalyze, like, why is this happening? How can I make this better? How can I fix it? Make it go away as quickly as possible. So this is really helpful for myself. But what mindfulness is noticing, allowing, staying curious, and staying present in your body. It's okay to feel it and just be present with that. So when you stop trying to fix the experience, the nervous system naturally regulates. This has been something that's been an interesting conversation I've had with a patient who's also somebody who has a chronic illness, but she has dealt with some things for quite a while and she has such a different mindset with it. Like if she has to leave somewhere, if she's like, yeah, if I start feeling well, I just leave. Like no big deal. She doesn't attach anything else to it. Like it's very just matter of fact, like no big deal. It's what I have to do. Where like myself, I was telling her about certain things that my body does where then I like get super anxious because what if I have to leave and do this and da 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 da. And she's like, so what if you do? And that's a really good example of just you notice, you stay curious, not a big deal. You allow things to happen. You don't have to force things to stop. You don't have to fix things. And I just love that. And so it's something that I'm personally trying to work on is like, yeah, no big deal.
Well, and I think that when we try to fix things, puts pressure on us.
Yep.
The
That was the word I was
pressure,
thinking is pressure. Uh-huh.
yeah. When we don't have to fix it, then we can be a little more just matter of fact and easy about it. So,
Absolutely.
all right, moving on. Use your senses as anchors. Again, where you see a theme here, like anchor, ground, calm, right? Like these are all these strategies for mindfulness. So, one of the quickest ways to come back to the moment is to use your senses. And here's some ideas, obviously. So using your eyes, what do you see? So you're going to identify shapes or colors, but you're not going to analyze or have an opinion or try to, again, solve anything about them or look deeper than what you actually see. Just matter of fact, what do you see? What do you hear? So you might think about like a background hum or noise, voices, birds, anything that you can hear with your ears. What do you feel? So that might be the air on your skin or clothing on your body, or like Megan had said earlier, your steering wheel in your hand, anything like that. What do you smell or taste, if applicable? And then what is happening right now in this exact second? The senses pull you out of more of like a story mode and into more of just present awareness. And so trying some of those are just ideas, obviously, but letting your senses anchor you and being able to just focus right in that moment helps calm that nervous system and helps regulate the nervous system in that way.
Yeah, the taking you out of story mode and into present awareness is so powerful because again, our thoughts will take us on a runaway train and there's a story that we're telling ourselves often. And if we can capture that and realize what's happening, it's so powerful. And if you are somebody who you've done therapy work and you've learned about this stuff, it definitely, when you're in situations, it gives you a different perspective. And I think that that's super helpful, especially when you're working with people or you're around different types of people and that sort of thing. So again, I love that so much. So number 7, practice self-compassion when your mind wanders. This is another really good one. So your mind will wander, and this is normal. This is a good thing. So the rep of mindfulness is gently bringing it back. So what you're going to think about is like, I'm wandering, like my brain's kind of going off course, come back. Not, ugh, I can't focus. Not like, well, can't do it. So it's a gentle return back into the practice. And I really like that too, because again, we're taking away that like being pressure and being hard on ourselves. Our brain could wander away 20 times if we, like if we're just, I mean, that's our brain. And it's okay every single time. We're like, oh, there it is. Okay, bring it back. And then, oh, you go, okay, bring it back. And sometimes I mean, that's when you like can daydream and when you think, and nothing's wrong with that. So I love that just, again, it's that self-compassion. We show it to everybody else, but we're very bad about showing ourselves self-compassion.
Okay. Next is probably one of my favorites. It's just practical, and I like practical.
Mm-hmm.
Consider attaching mindfulness to daily habits, and this then makes it automatic. There's nothing that I like less than trying to add a lot of things to my day. But if I can have an accountability buddy for something like this, then I'm more likely to remember it. And then I can be kind to myself if I forget most of the day. If we attach it to something that will remind us to do it, then we're going to more likely get it done. So here's just a couple ideas. Obviously, pick your own if you don't like any of these, but that first sip of coffee or tea and feeling the warmth. When you're washing your hands, notice the water. Before treating a patient or entering a room, do one deep breath and orient to that space. Getting in the car, notice the seat beneath you or the steering wheel under your hands. And then lying in bed, feel the weight of your body on the mattress. And so you just take a tiny habit and you add awareness to it. It's that pause that we talked about earlier. And we see actual change then that happens with that. So I like that because it's just so practical. That's like more of a black and white one.
Yeah.
That doesn't take a lot of strategy and helps accomplish the task too.
Right. And I love the one washing your hands, like noticing the water, especially if it's warm water, and just if you really focus on that, that's something that I have utilized many times. So those are so good and practical. So number 9 is use breath like a dial, not a hammer. And I really love that. So breath shouldn't be forced. Instead, lengthen your exhale slightly. So try an inhale for a count of 4 and an exhale for a count of 6. So that longer exhale is what helps to stimulate the vagus nerve, which then helps to have it into the rest and digest, which is a calmer body and then a grounded mind. There's all sorts of different breathing techniques, but I just love thinking about that as a dial and not a hammer, because you can turn it up and turn it down, and you can have short inhale, longer exhale, all sorts of different things, do box breathing, that sort of stuff. But I don't know why it also made me think of, I was thinking this the other day, and then I just recently saw a post about it, but they also use this analogy with like a dial with like your core activation. So many people are like, just want to go hard and fast, like, ooh, like over grip. And it is more like a dial. It's like you have control over like how much you're gonna go. That's nothing to do with mindfulness, people, but it just made me think about that. So back on track. See, we're wandering off. So
wandering off.
Number 10. There we go. Come back.
Okay. Ask this one question. What is happening in my body right now? And just asking this single question can bring you back to the present, probably more consistently than anything else. I think that question, though, can be a hard one. And so I think these other suggestions we've been talking about is a way to practice then being able to answer that question. Because I think it's easier said than done. But if you're having a hard time connecting with your body, you're having a hard time pausing, or you're having a hard time feeling certain things, then this could be a really frustrating question to answer, if that makes sense. And so I think that all these other practices or these other strategies can help answer this question if you can just resort to then asking that can really simplify it. But you've put in the work ahead of time to really be able to accurately respond to that question.
Yeah, it is kind of a tough one. I know when you said that, I was like, I had to ask myself that right now. Like, what's happening in my body?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you noticing? And I'm like, oh, my foot's asleep on one side and I'm sitting crisscross applesauce in this office chair and my hip is tight and sore. But it's so neat to like observe that, and not attach anything to that. Again, we would just practice that and see how it goes. Okay, so a simple daily practice for like 2 minutes is you could sit or stand, feel your feet, relax your jaw and your shoulders, notice one inhale and one exhale, name what's present, tension, warmth, emotions, thoughts, and then let it be. So you can practice that. It takes 2 minutes. And I mean, we'll see. Well, we can circle back and see if Roxy and I have tried this. But really, 2 minutes, I think that's the thing is in life, we see this in the clinic of different professions, like even stopping to go pee and feeling like you have to like power pee and go really fast and get it done. But really, if you time yourself, it takes 2 minutes to go to the bathroom. And it's kind of that same thing. Like we all have 2 minutes. We truly do. And as clinicians, and talking to like my fellow providers, we really do have 2 minutes between patients, if we need it to be able to do a reset or do something like this to slow down. So that daily practice is really helpful. And that's it. So you can do this during transitions. It's not just like a formal meditation time. And that's where I was thinking is I'm like, okay, this is a great 2-minute reset as we're seeing clients, that sort of thing. So that kind of wraps everything up. And hopefully this is helpful for everybody. We will kind of put this into handout form. And if you're listening to this and you're interested in seeing it, you can message us and send us your email and we'll get it sent to you. We're working on that today at the clinic. So hopefully we'll have that ready. So utilize like as you're going into your family.
That's just what I was thinking is I need to kind of ponder on, I think listening to this whole thing could feel overwhelming to be like, oh, how do I remember all this? I think you'd go through, think about one or two that resonate with you. And that's what I think I'm going to do is just kind of recap back and notice and see, they're all good. They're all good in theory, but I think each of us has our specific bend that, one or two are going to drive with us more than others. And so that's my plan since Thanksgiving is just coming up.
I know. Yeah, but sitting with, Christmas all the time, like sitting, lots of family around, being able to just kind of check in with yourself and be like, okay, I'm going to feel my feet on the ground right now and feel the sofa on that I'm sitting on, stuff like that.
No one even knows. No one even knows.
Yeah, no one knows.
That. That's what's kind of cool. It's kind of sneaky. So
Exactly. Very good. Okay. Well, hopefully this was helpful. And when this episode is airing, we're going to be leading on into the Christmas season. So we hope everybody's enjoying their family time and the Christmas lights. And until our next episode, we'll keep the conversation going. Thank you so much for joining us this week on the Pelvis Project podcast. Help us continue the conversation by liking and sharing this episode with friends. And if you really want to do us a solid, leave us a review. If you'd like to follow us on social, check out the show notes for links. And remember, this week, take a deep breath and relax your pelvic floor.